Who you talking to?
Who's there?
Mhm.
Ooh. Okay, here we go. Hello and welcome back. Oh my gosh. To Lifestyles of Love with your girl Chris. It's been so long, you guys. Like it's been way too long. And I'm back for another little feature episode. And my girl Angie is back, gracing us with her presence. Thank you so much, Angie. Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
And tonight we're getting into many things, but the main thing being the fact that, recently I turned 40. You just turned 40
Yeah, I turned 40 in March.
in March. I turned 40 in December, and it hasn't even been that long, but 40 has already been a journey. It's already been a bunch of things.
Totally, yeah.
But it's been a consistent single life that was not expected. Like I didn't think this is where I'd be. I didn't think this is what I'd be doing or how I'd be living per se at this age. But millennials break records every day.
Hmm.
So that's just what we do. So basically, I feel there's a lot of aspects to this being the case. Women are wanting to have children, wanting to be married, but life has just not handed them those cards. And I think the biggest reason why is because we as women are the freest we've ever been. We're the most independent we've ever been able to be. And an independent woman doesn't need a man. She wants a man or, a partner, spouse, whatever, but she doesn't need one. And an independent man still, I think, not requires, but still, you know, they still want it too, but they need it in a different way than I believe women do. What do you think?
Totally, totally. I think men right now are in an interesting flux.
Mm,
Women have a very strong sense of self right now, and they're very either career motivated, motivated by their family situations, other things outside of men, marriage and children. While men right now are in this weird kind of limbo area about being providers, what it means to be a proper husband, a proper boyfriend, versus like hooking up culture, things like that.
hmm That's true because I think we probably were at like the tail end, maybe not the tail end of hookup culture, but towards the end of it, um,
Mm-hmm.
because social media took on a different, thing when it came to dating, and online dating became a whole thing. And there's always been men who are pieces of shit. I mean, let's be honest. Like, there's always been
No,
cheaters. There's
that's
always
true.
been
Yeah.
liars. They wrote songs about it. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Blah blah blah. My grandfather was a Rolling Stone. Like, he really truly was. And so men have always been like shit. And so they just didn't have social media pointing it out at the capacity at which it is now. Um, and I think we also used to care more about being in relationships or being or having somebody, both men and women. I feel like we cared about it more. We wanted it more because we used to read more. We used to have much more culture when it came to like romance and music and how and like flirtation and like everything leading up to uh falling in love or living happily ever after or whatever. I mean, obviously millennials, our delusions were wild because we had like Disney on top of romantic comedies galore, on top of um teen just like horny teen television and movies. And we had like our imaginations in that respect of dating and everything were on like hyperdrive.
Sure, sure.
And and the boys at that time, it was the same for them because they were watching what we were watching for the most part. But I feel like now we're millennial women and millennial men who are the same age and single are living vastly different or we're having vastly different experiences now in life. As far as like dating, I would say,
Sure,
from
sure.
what I'm picking up on anyway.
Sure. I think right now is a really interesting time about women. Women right now are more educated. They have more financial freedom, and men are simply trying to play catch up.
Mm.
One of a recent story that I've read that a lot of women are refusing to date outside of their education class.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I know I'm victim to one of them. As
oh,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I went to college, and I would like my partner to be as educated as I am. I'm an avid reader. I want my partner to be as big as a reader as I am. It's someone who stays up to date with current events, things like that. So I think that puts a lot of pressure on the male demographics, especially when men right now are in such a flux about like their masculinity and their manhood. Men are not being enrolled in colleges as much as women right now. Men, I read a statistic about a lot of men that are potentially staying home, being stay-at-home boyfriends, stay-at-home men. Some of them are fathers, but some of them
home
are also
boyfriend. I
yeah,
need
yeah.
I got to meet these guys.
Oh no, they're yeah. I mean, I know plenty of them. Um, but yeah, women are taking the reins of their of what it means to be, you know, proper adults and moving pushing forward, where men are still probably some men are still like, you know, stuck in their parents' homes, in their parents' basements.
Yeah, that has definitely become a known statistical phenomenon or whatever you want to call it. That's been going on with middle-aged men or not even middle-aged, like coming out of college, coming out of like their mid 20s into their late 20s into their 30s. I mean, people are not having sex at the same rates. People are not dating at the same rates. Gen Z themselves are not having a whole lot of sex. I mean, they just started drinking like
Mhm.
this year,
Yeah, yeah.
you know? And
Mhm.
so maybe that will change. Maybe we'll get some better stats now that they're drinking. But uh,
Yeah, yeah, let's hope so. I think a lot of like their social tendencies are thwarted,
yeah.
maybe because of the pandemic, things like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're not dating. They don't know how to talk to people.
No.
Um, I at least when I was probably like in my early 30s, mid 30s, I was approached all the time by different men, and that just doesn't happen anymore. People don't know how to talk to each other. It's been a weird mix of maybe social media, um, maybe the fear of being filmed and being rejected, which is totally valid. That is one of the reasons why people are just not dating. They just, you know, they don't have the emotional capacity to deal with that kind of rejection.
Yes. And you asked me right before we came on here, you asked me why I'm not dating.
Hmm.
And the answer is I just I don't have the capacity. You just said it. Like I don't have the emotional capacity anymore. It's not even about the rejection so much as the the letdown and the disappointment and the just the literally like the deep breath, the deep sigh that goes through my mind when I think about like starting fresh and meeting somebody new and having to wait for whatever bullshit is gonna come out because
Sure.
it's always something. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
always something. And I hate that that's I'm not trying to generalize, but I have been dating since I was 15 years old and I'm 40. And you know what? I got a lot of data.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just basing that off of, I mean, dating changed completely when I left New York. Like I was on a trajectory of dating that was that was really good. And then like 2016, 2017, like I left New York and then became single, and then it was just dating in Las Vegas. I didn't want to put it all on Las Vegas in my location, but I thought it was that for a long time. But then women were just like, no, it's not.
No, it's dating everywhere. It's like that. Um, my last two relationships, I was with two different men for about 2 years each, and fantastic humans. One was a doctor,
Oh,
yeah,
um, well,
fantastic person. Loved him, still love him. Don't wish him any ill 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 news, but he just didn't know what he wanted. Um,
oh,
when I asked him, like, it was around Christmas time. I'm like, "Do you want to come, like, meet my family?" And he's just like, "I don't know if this is gonna be like the thing, the next step in our relationship." And I'm like, "We've been together for 2 years. How do you not know what you want?" So, yeah, I think it's maybe like a mix of
also
like,
happens that women be wasting our time, and that is so mean spirited in my mind.
oh
That's
no, it
that's very
totally
much
is.
slap in the
Yeah,
face what you said just happened.
yeah, it totally was. But I mean, I guess I understand where they were coming from. But also, yeah, I was very hurt because I'm like, of course, we've been together for 2 years. How do you know you not want to be in a relationship? How do you not know you want to get married? I mean, I know
Right.
I've wanted to get married since I was a little girl. I knew that I wanted to have children since I was little. I just, yeah, for a
And I
while I
think
thought those responses were such a
that
cop out.
yeah. I think that comes later for them too. I think um those things come later with their fear of death and their own mortality, that all like comes full circle, and then they want to have kids, and then they're in like this huge rush, and it's like a crazy thing, but not
Mm,
always. But yeah, I mean, you're spelling it out. There's a waste of time factor where it's just like time is not forever. Like I would rather be at peace. That's another thing that comes up is my peace, and having somebody else
mm,
kind of not intentionally disrupting it maliciously, but you just being here when I'm used to being alone. Like women have gotten used to being alone, and we're okay.
sure.
Like we wouldn't mind dating somebody, but it's like I don't need you to be here all the time.
Mm,
Um, and so I think that's also what's happened is that our independence, I don't want to say it in a bad way, is getting in the way or anything. I just feel like we're 40 now. Like when you're 25 and you're dating, like you're willing to put up with a lot of different things that are kind of annoying to you or whatnot. And when you're 40, you're kind of like not.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think about like one of the reasons I really wanted to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to be a mother more than like necessarily a wife, and I've read so much literature about like the benefits of a two-person household for parents, and um, I am child of divorce.
Right.
And I've seen like my parents, their marriage, and just how that affected me and my siblings. And I'm just like, I don't want to be that. I want to be a little happy family, little unit together.
Mm,
Um, but a couple years ago, I had a really great therapist who asked me, "Why do you think this way? Why do you think you won't be a good single mother?" And I think about a lot of like the different stigmas that are placed against single mothers, and I really took that to heart and was like, I yes, I value my independence, and yes, I want to be partnered, but also like I know I can like be a great single mom despite all the you know information out there about how negative single motherhood could be.
right. And I've gotten to that place too, because I think I had the opposite experience, but I've arrived at the same place. Because I had a two-parent household, whole life, loving family, um, and I saw up close a loving relationship and all of that. And so I guess I probably took that for granted, and it never. I was more kind of interested in being a wife more than a mother. I was just kind of like, if we have kids, cool, but if not, at least I have a partner, at least I have love. Um, but now I'm at this place where I'm like, love may not be on the horizon here. And these eggs ain't gonna last forever. And, of course, you can always adopt, you can always foster, you can always do other things.
Totally, yeah.
To carry
That's my game plan.
yeah,
I'm
a lot of
hopefully, yeah, my cards play right. Like I eventually, in the next couple of years, I want to be certified to foster, and I think that'll be a really great use of like my maternal instincts.
yes, absolutely. And I feel like right now I'm kind of looking into like IVF and like, sperm donation or whatever. If anybody out there, I see y'all. Hey, um, I I've just been thinking about it because I'm like, I don't know. And honestly, like it didn't really come up for me until my dad passed away because it was
Sure.
just something innate just started just kind of like bubbling up in me, or just like I don't know if it's a legacy or if it's just like there would still be a piece of him here, you know? There'd still be something that I could hold, that I could be like, that's more eternal than like a picture. I mean, pictures are eternal, but just saying.
Sure.
So I never really had the instinct to necessarily be a mom until now. And so, but I can't wait for these men. Like that's the thing, is like I can't wait for this man that's supposed to be coming or supposed to have been here. Maybe I let him go. Like I don't know, but I can't wait around for it. So despite what's going on in the world, which is my only like, are you sure you want to have a kid? Like that's the only
No,
thing. Like,
and I question this all the time. Like, is it really responsible to bring a child into the world right now? Because the world's
it really doesn't seem that way. But then I also look at it like, has it ever been? Like there's always been
That is true. That is
terrible
totally true.
times. There's always been terrible times where people are still bringing children into the world, and we're still here. Black people survive. So it's like, it really. I think that's why I'm taking my time to think about it, because I think it's a big decision outside of even just the decision to be a mom. I mean, that in itself is a crazy decision that you have to really think about, because
Sure.
somebody else's life is crazy.
Yeah. So if you never marry or never find like your partner, do you think you'll be okay?
Yeah. I have good friends, I have close family, and yeah, if I don't actually carry a child, I think I will adopt.
Okay.
So
And do you feel like you want, like, with an adoption you'll be able to like carry on that legacy that you want to?
yeah, I do feel like it's, even though it's not a blood thing, it's all about how you're raised, right? It's like who raised you, how they raised you, and who raised them to like put that on you, or to kind of like um create the foundation for how they're going to parent you. And so everything I've learned from my parents and experience with my parents would still come out of me onto a child. Like it would just happen because of who they are and who they made me into. And they're good people, so I trust that I would be a good parent as well. But
Sure, yeah.
You never know.
And if you never did meet your person or nor had like any children, I mean, I think about this all the time. Like, so for everybody who didn't know, I had a stroke last year. I almost died, and that got me into like thinking a lot about how I want to spend the rest of my life. I have it stuck in my head for some reason, working through therapy. But I feel like I have a very close ticking clock soon. And I'm sorry, you can hear my cat sneezing in the background. But yeah, I constantly wonder, like, will I be truly happy on my deathbed?
Mm-hmm.
Have children or a husband or a partner, whoever. That stuff, I try not to let it weigh me down, but like I also, like, it keeps me up at night.
No, I'm totally with you. The question I always ask myself now is, what am I doing all this for then? You know?
Mm,
Like, of course it's for self-fulfillment, and that's
Totally.
great.
Yeah.
That's very American, you know, to be
Mhm.
thinking I'll be satisfied with what myself is. Like they don't think like that in like Asian, Chinese cultures, and like they don't think like that. They're thinking about way far down the line that like what you do now matters.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's what I'm always thinking is just like, God, like not necessarily who's gonna be there on my deathbed, but just like what did I do it all for? Like what is it all for?
Sure, yeah.
If not to share.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, for me, I just think about how much love I can give, and if I can't give it to a partner, I want to be able to give it to somebody else. So I know, like, I can open up my home to a child who needs it, whether it's fostering, adoption. I'm probably can't get pregnant, but that's cool. So I know there's other ways to build a family, and I just, at the end of the day, just want to show somebody as much love as I've been given in my life. I've been very fortunate. My parents are divorced, but they are wonderful people. Shout out to my mom and my dad, my stepmom,
Always.
um, and I think it just the reason that I would want to become a parent is just because I want to give myself to a person.
Yeah. I feel that too, I feel that too. Um and the other half of the answer to the question
Mhm.
is like you never find the person if you never had the kid or never birthed the kid or whatever. You know what? I I have this fantasy that, friends of mine will and I will build a colony and we'll just live together and take care of each other until we die. I mean, that's what I would hope
Mhm.
our generation would change about that kind of lifestyle. Like people living by themselves until they die,
Mhm.
and rate and being single in motherhood or fatherhood. It's like there are people, there are communities, there are people who could help, who can be part of like building a family or just building a community.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Have you
and
ever heard of Women Town?
uh, I have heard about these like colonies of women, but
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if it was like overseas more, or if there was anything in the States.
So, like back in the 80s and the early 90s, in Kansas City, a group of lesbians decided to get together and build their own little safe community, and they essentially call it the neighborhood woman town. Um, yeah, it's something that I aspire to. I love the concept of having that massive community, and community building is something I'm super passionate about. So I think about that and raising children. Um, but I had one other question for you. Like, if you want to go that route, like where does dating come back for you? Because I'm right now in the process of trying to figure out like my dating goals. If I'm just now that I am really focused on myself and my independent goals. I mean, I'm still a sexual human. I
Hmm.
still, I still like to be touched. I still want to have sex. I still like having a physical partner. I don't
Yes.
want to sleep around. Where does like that kind of like relationship uh, apply to you?
You know what? I'm figuring that out because I really don't know because I feel the same way. Like I'm very I'm very sexual and I love sex and I like being close and having intimacy, but I'm a sapiosexual in the fact that I just can't have sex with anybody,
Sure,
and
yeah,
it doesn't feel good to have sex just to like hump somebody and just to get your rocks off,
totally, yeah, yeah.
even if you know the person. I just I don't really feel that. So I don't know. I feel like I feel many things, but I feel that once I'm in a place where I'm happy in my career and the things that I'm doing every day don't feel like work and don't feel like it just feels like I'm living in like my passion, which is what I'm striving for now. That I'll meet somebody great, because I feel like that's when it happens, when you're happy and you're feeling the most yourself, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but then I also feel like, I don't know, like the interest isn't really there, because I know what is out there, and you know, I guess I have to think about how young I'm willing to go, how old I'm willing to go, um, which I don't really
So
think about, but
you like look at like, I mean, are you on any of the apps right now? Are you like talking to anybody? Are you like trying to like, I mean, at least meet people, or you're trying to like, or if somebody was gonna like come talk to you like at a bar, or like, I don't know, say like,
I'd be much more receptive to that.
okay,
The app thing, I just feel like people just lie on the apps. I mean, people put up fake pictures, people are married, people are living multiple lives online. They'll talk your ear off and then never meet up with you.
totally.
They
I've had that happen so many times.
So many times they'll text you, and by the time you're ready to meet up, something comes up, or they ghost you and you never hear from them again. It's just always some shit. It's just like the exhaustion, the mental exhaustion. And so I would be much more receptive at this point to just meeting somebody normally. I would be the most receptive, and what I think is the next step is matchmaking. And I think
Oh, okay.
just, when we know somebody good, like you're saying, your doctor friend, he's
Mhm.
not for you, right? But you should introduce him to somebody good. When you meet somebody awesome, like you should, and that's looking or that's interested or even whatever, just ask people if they're single. Like, I know somebody who I would love to set you up with. Like, because you're saying he's a good guy, and you're saying that, he's a he's somebody who, you're rooting for and don't have any malice or any ill intent. If you meet somebody that's good, you should introduce him to somebody.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because I feel that it's so hard to even trust who people are, that people are telling the truth about who they are. People have two phones and baggage and exes and baby mamas and just stuff that you have no idea about when you first meet a person.
Yeah, yeah.
And people will, I don't know, people will keep secrets that they don't need to necessarily, you know what I mean? They will omit. People are much more, people are much more fine with omitting information now and not calling it a lie, or
Mm.
not not admitting it's a lie. It's like, just because you didn't say you weren't married doesn't mean you weren't married. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. No, I totally get it.
And
I
men
mean,
don't wear wedding rings. That's the other thing. Sorry.
no, and I mean, I know, I totally get it. I've been on so many dates with guys that are just, they're not necessarily in like marriage or like attached, but they were definitely, they don't have the same intentions as you. Like I'm a long-term relationship girl. I want, I will hold out sex for a while, but they're just looking for a quick hookup. And I'm not gonna lie about like my body. I'm a curvy woman, so
Mhm.
I post such pictures of my body on like the dating apps. They're very
Yeah,
tasteful, I'm not gonna lie,
sure.
but also like I don't know there are some guys that will just look at those and just like I just want to hook up, and I will
Right.
do whatever or say whatever to get in their pants. So yeah, I've experienced the entire gambit across the
Yes.
entire dating apps.
And
Um,
what happens the most to me that's been annoying since, I don't know, since I moved to LA initially in 2005, is you meet a guy, you have like one date, maybe you have sex, maybe you don't, but these men will pull out the L word with the quickness.
wow.
And this is, I don't know why this is always happens to me. It'll be like, I love you, I'm in love with you, let's have a baby.
You
And it's
guys
like,
have said that to you? That's
what's that?
crazy. Guy,
Oh,
that's
multiple
crazy.
men.
That's so crazy to me.
Thank you. I know. And so that's why I'm like, who is this working on that they feel you know, the need to say this? I don't know, but that's what happens to me. And as soon as they do that, they curse the situation because it's like, okay, I've known you 2 weeks,
Mhm.
4 weeks. I don't know your middle name. I don't know your mom's name. I don't know a lot of things about you, and you're already in love with me and ready to have a baby. You know?
That's crazy. Yeah, I haven't experienced that, but like I mean I know plenty of like other girlfriends or even like other like
It's
guy
disheartening
friends. Yeah, yeah. That kind of blows my mind.
because how am I ever going to believe anybody? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, I guess I'll believe it when I know it's true, when I know it didn't come out after like 3 weeks or something. But I don't know. I really feel like that's some kind of um, it's like a gotcha thing. It's
Sure,
like
sure.
if I say I love you, like she'll be putty in my hands, or she'll do whatever I want, or she'll let me do whatever I want. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've never found out what the strategy behind it is. But
Yeah, I mean I feel like it's just kind of like you gotta at least at least from like what I understand, is like they just want to reel you in and hook you like right away, you know?
yeah, love bomb.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't want you to know how fucked up they are. That's really what it is.
That's
They don't want
interesting.
you to know how fucked up they are. They want to fall in love quick so they can stop pretending that they're not, or
And
pretending
like
they're
and
good.
so like these men who've done it in the past, like they're like gainfully employed and like okay. I mean, because I ask
Not
I
always.
okay. I've dated my fair share of homosexuals. I don't know if you're familiar
A
with that.
yes, I just mentioned a homosexual the other day to somebody, and they were like, "Homeless?" I was like, "Yeah, bro.
Uh huh.
There are some dudes out." That's the other reason with the online thing. It's like, oh my god, like people just can portray anything online,
Totally. Yeah.
and you just don't know what you're getting. And online dating worked early on, but you notice you don't see eHarmony commercials anymore.
Oh no. And I mean, I don't know if you've been paying attention to like Bumble and Tinder, what they're doing right now. They're having these AI avatars, which I think is absolutely ridiculous because I'm just like, one, I'm very anti AI and
Yeah.
I don't want something impersonating me, but I don't want to be talking to another AR avatar who has been fed all this like misinformation. You know, it's
But
crazy.
you're talking to the avatar, like,
The avatars will talk to each other.
oh, like you, okay, right. Okay, I did hear about this. Like each person would have an avatar and they would talk to each other trying to like
Totally, yeah, yeah.
sell the other. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, it's basically just advertising. You mean, you know, you have to look at yourself as the product. But it's great. I mean, I thought about downloading Bumble just so I can check this out because I'm like curious out of all things. But do I think a relationship will come out of it? Like something serious? Hell no.
I don't
It's ridiculous.
So I did want to talk about the fact that like I said, millennials are breaking records every day, and the birth rates for the 40 plus crowd have surpassed teenage pregnancy last year for like the first time in history, um, which I think is crazy. I mean, like, it actually does make sense because millennials are just different people. Like, we've just chosen different paths because we didn't have a choice a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I think we really just tried to live the dream and like live out our dreams and like try and travel and
Totally.
not immediately start getting married and having kids.
Yeah.
Some of us did, you know,
I
some of us have teenagers, some of
yeah.
us have 25-year-olds, you know, we're 40. Um, but I think a good majority, especially women who got educated, past 2 years of, community college, women who opted to, for the career or life, have just decided to wait, or like you and I just never met the right person.
Totally,
And
yeah.
so there's also, for the teenagers, there's just much more communication and access to effective contraception and
Totally.
public health education, so they just understand. As we did too, like, just wrap it up or pull out or something.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah, yeah.
have a plan here before we.
I mean, I remember being in high school and being like I wasn't scared about doing drugs. I was scared about getting pregnant.
Yeah, and I think it's because of the manner in which they presented the information,
Mhm.
on top of your upbringing, your religious affiliations. A lot of people were Mormon.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of
I
people
mean,
were.
I think about like the women that got pregnant during like when we were in school together.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't want to name names, but I know some women that were pretty ostracized, and
Yep.
kids have sex. That's what happens.
That's what happens. And
they
so,
shouldn't have been shamed about it.
right. And so we're dealing with declining teen rates, better access to contraception, and women delaying childbearing because it's just, career, achieving financial security, completing education before they wanted to start a family. Totally makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Fertility advances, modern reproductive technologies, and medical support have made pregnancies safer and more viable after 40, even though it's what do they call it? It's like
Geriatric pregnancy.
Geriatric.
I hate that term more than anything else.
They need to change that.
But actually, I've been reading a lot about this too, just about the various birth rates after 40 and women's health, especially prenatal, postnatal, things like that. A lot of the studies that are been recently released are finding that a lot of pregnancy complications, miscarriages, things like that are due to poor sperm. Women are being able to carry full healthy pregnancies. They might not have like all the eggs that they did earlier in their 20s, but the eggs are still viable. They're still usable. But it's also the men that are having all the issues with fertility right now.
Well.
Yeah. So, yeah, I forget what NPR thing. I think it was something on Fresh Air, but women right now are totally at an advantage for pregnancy. Granted, yeah, maternal care in the United States is still not the best, but women right now still have all those various options. Well, we're still learning about pregnancy. There still hasn't been enough studies about male what's the word? Like just the male contribution to having a safe and baby.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense because these men are also working out at an all-time high and using all these proteins and powders and supplements and creatine.
Yeah, totally.
Steroids are making a comeback.
All the testosterone stuff that our government's doing right now is ridiculous.
Yeah, on top of that, on top of the fact that it's a lot of processed food. And so, yeah. And we don't talk about that enough. We are always talking about women's eggs and women's wombs, and we're never talking about what you're doing with your sperm and what kind of effects that might have on the baby that is then born. We never talk about it. You know what I mean?
Totally, yeah. Like, women are supposed to, take care of their bodies. If you want to get pregnant, you need to do this and this. we don't give the same information to men. We like, guys are just expected to, shoot in you, and then that's that.
That's that.
But we're finding studies are finding that it takes a certain diet, it takes a certain exercise routine for men, it takes a certain amount of like vitamins, certain hormones, and men are just it goes completely over their head because they're just figure like getting pregnant is a woman's job, it's a
Right.
woman's role. Where we don't really have like anything to contribute, but you know a lot of like the various disorders. I think about like how they're just trying to like find how different um, genetic disorders are tied strictly to like the male
Yeah.
chromosomes that are being provided, things like that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, we're at an all-time high of like autistic children being born and whatnot. And it's like, there were definitely children when we were young who, there was a kid in my class who didn't speak.
Mhm.
Um, but that was like the one kid I knew in childhood. And so what's that? That could be the preservatives that we grew up on, and is now in the sperm, um,
Yeah,
or in the eggs, whatever. Um, I mean, all of the stuff that's happening when we're kids, all the stuff that we were privy to, drinking out of the hose. I mean, we don't know.
yeah, yeah,
But again, we don't even ask. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
yeah. It's interesting. Just trying to figure out like the basic recipe for a healthy baby,
Yeah.
and we still can't figure out one. We thought we had such like a firm grasp of like, okay, this is what future mothers need to do if they want to stay fertile, if they want to get pregnant, the steps that they take. But do we tell dads like no? Like I've spoken to people that are trying to get pregnant, and I'm like, what's your partner doing? Is he stopped drinking? Is he working out? Is he taking his vitamins and supplements? He needs to be healthy too, because that's his sperm. He's gonna pass on half his genetic material to that baby. He needs
Hmm.
to be as healthy as the mother is. He can't be
Amen.
drinking all the time. He can't be smoking all the time. That's how things are gonna, probably get messed up within. And yeah, I
Yeah,
was reading
it's already
majority,
crazy.
yeah, the majority of miscarriages are because of poor sperm.
Oh, see, I had no idea. I had no
Mhm.
idea. And
It's
women beat
bad.
themselves up over miscarriages, and stillborn, births, and it's women take the brunt. And we probably would do that anyway because it's like it's our body and that's what our body's supposed to it's like meant to do or whatever. But we
One
just
out
have
of four women experience a miscarriage, but I think can be so much lower if men actually took care of themselves.
yeah. Yeah, man, because it starts in college, right? Those frat parties are
Totally, yeah.
damage. Damage is occurring. Um, I agree. And we could go on and on with the men thing, but it's like this is not a male bashing show.
No,
It never has been and never will be. I love men. We've had men
me
guests
too. I love them. I
here. We love men. Men are great. We
they're
just want to be
fantastic.
better.
Yeah,
That's it.
I I've dated some really fantastic guys. I have some of the best male friends in the world. I think about like the people who took care of me during my stroke. They're all my guy friends.
Oh
They're the
wow.
guys who visit me in the hospital. They help me with my mom. I think about my roommate. Like I have the best men in my life.
And so this is the message. If you have great male friends, give them their credit, A, but also ensure that you appreciate them and introduce them to single, beautiful women if that's
Totally,
what
yeah.
they're into.
And if
Um,
they want to start having kids or thinking about having kids, start taking care of yourself.
yes, please. And I have a question since you
Yeah,
were
yeah.
saying that you have a lot of male friends. If you were in a position to like adopt a child, foster a child, or have a child, would you, are there any of these male friends that you would do this with?
That's a good question. That's something I guess I never thought about because
Hmm.
I always pictured. I think being a child of divorce, I always pictured myself having like a really just happy marriage. I just wanted like to have like that one partner. Um, I never was the type of woman who imagine having a wedding and all that jazz. I just imagine a little happy family. So I think about like a lot of my guy friends. Yeah, they would make fantastic fathers, but also a lot of them don't want to have children for whatever
Wow,
reason.
that's
So
wow, that's very interesting.
yeah, yeah. I mean, all their different reasons are valid. Stuff that we talked about, the state of the world and definitely financial, health wise, things like that. I'm trying to think. There was maybe one person I would have like build a family with, but I mean, he's like my bestie. I don't imagine us ever hooking up, but
Right, right, right.
yeah, I
Even the gays, sometimes I think about it. I'm like, maybe.
sometimes I think about that too. I think about like, yeah, I'm such a big supporter of lavender marriages. Um, I mean, even for a while, like, me and one of my former friends, we talked about like, okay, if we were to like be together, we wanted to like look at a house together and like into it together. We wouldn't necessarily. I mean, I'm straight, she's straight, but
Hmm.
we would combine our finances and move in together as
I was
one.
just talking about that yesterday. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that would be interesting, but like I know the more and more I think about it, the more I think I'm just going to be a single mom, and I mean I've fought this idea for such a long time, but I think about how I would want to raise a child, and I don't know if I want to do that with somebody anymore. I think I
Hmm.
do that with myself.
Interesting. Yeah. And I mean, that's what's beautiful about it is that you would have that choice. I mean, a lot of people worry about the stigma and how it looks, blah, blah, blah. I think we're past that. But I think also people, well, they put the pressure on of just like, where's the male influence,
Totally,
where,
yeah,
for
and
a
then
boy or a girl, like
yeah,
where is it? And that and I do believe that is important. So I do believe that we should at least prepare, try to have those
totally, yeah, and
if
that's something like
know
I've
what's
thought
gonna
about, like
happen.
if I foster or adopt children, and where would that male influence be? But I have so many great people, men in my life.
Yeah.
Any of my friends, I think about my father, my dad, is he's healthy and he's a phenomenal human. I know I
Hmm.
have his full support. I know, I prepare to be whatever mom I need to be, whether that's a sports mom or a theater mom, having people surrounded in that whatever community is needed for that child. So yeah, I thought about it like, it'd be great to have a male like, role model, a dad figure essentially,
Yeah.
but you can find, at least I believe I can find it in so many other people and other spaces, as long as I have that community built around me.
Yeah. And I think that's important. That's what I would find that to be the most critical element
Mhm.
if we're gonna do it. But
Totally.
I like the idea of the women town. I like the idea of the colony.
Yeah,
Talk
I
to
mean, if there's like a particular neighborhood in Vegas, I'm down to start like looking at houses, seeing.
cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I like to build a little woman centered neighborhood. That'd be so nice.
it would. It would be so nice.
Yeah, and it feels like very safe. I would love to like just walk over to my neighbor's house and be like, hey, I baked cookies. Had some cookies. Come
I
over
saw
and
this.
have
Yeah, I
lunch.
saw this. What did I see? It was like a meme or something of this woman. She was going down this. She was on her bike going down the street with a bottle of wine, and she like threw her bike on the lawn and like walked up to the door and was like, "Hey, can can
Mm.
Becky come out and play? And like the husband answered the door or whatever. And it was, or she was like, can Becky come out and have wine and cheese or whatever it was? And it was just like, this is so nice. Like that would be so ideal to just feel safe enough to just be like roaming around again and, living our best lives.
I think I think once we establish a really safe sense of community, then we're able to start pursuing relationships. And I think um, we just need the community foundation first. We need a space. We need spaces that we feel safe and heard. And once that happens, then we'll be able to branch out and bring in some other people that we can give our hearts to.
So true. And the smallest thing I'd say we could re-implement is what do they call it? I mean, even beyond like manners, like what do you call that? Like, you remember they used to call it like finishing schools or whatever, like just bringing back manners. I'll just say that. Just America is such a self-forward nation. We're so much about ourselves and me, I. Like that's what we're taught. And we're never really taught about for the greater good or for the best of us all, or we don't hear it enough. And I feel like if we had just more of a sense of like camaraderie about us, you know what I mean? Like we grew up saying please and thank you and cover your mouth.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're not ready to shoot somebody just because they say excuse me when they stepped on your feet or whatever. It's just like all stuff like that. I feel like
the Gen Z stare. I hate the Gen Z stare.
My God. And these Gen Z people they're nice people. But you just have to get past their weird openings, I guess.
For sure, yeah. No, I mean I agree. I think something like manners and particular politeness has been thwarted. I don't think people value it as much anymore. Maybe because they don't see it as often, and that's something that I definitely try to start with myself. I'm been told I've been overly polite with my please or my thank yous or just holding the door open, or even just like I have a firm belief of promptly answering text messages because that's common courtesy, that's politeness, and just like little things like that. I think I try to build habits within myself and hopefully influence others to build habits within.
Yeah, I agree. But we can start there. So
totally, yeah.
I'll stay on that. But yeah, this was a great conversation. I feel like we could go even further and deeper into it.
Oh yeah. I can chat.
We'll probably have to have a part 2 and bring on maybe a male. Or
yeah, I'm interested in hearing like a man's perspective, especially why they think dating is so difficult right now.
Yeah, because I'm really interested to know as well, like from their perspective, like what the heck's going on. And I know for them, they're exhausted of the feeling used, feeling like women only want to go out with them because they want a meal, or I don't know. There's various things. Men just have this issue with like being used for money.
Sure.
I think that's holding a lot of them up.
I think that's funny because I'm like, half the guys I date don't have money.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't even know who these men with money are, but usually those men are taken.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just saying. But thank you for joining me, Angie. I really appreciate it. I love these little pop-in episodes. Pretty soon I'm going to be back on the regular schedule, guys, but it's just hard. I'm getting a degree. I'm trying to find my way in the world, so.
No, you're going to be on ESPN doing sports commentary soon.
This is the hope. This is the prayer. Or somewhere doing something. I could do this all day as well, but nobody's paying me to do it. So.
No, I see you being on. You're going to do. You're going to be calling the Aces game soon.
That would be fun too.
That'd be awesome.
I
Yeah.
actually love to be like the host, the person that like runs around the arena and like
Mhm.
talks to people. But then sometimes I'm like, I'm a little tired, I'm not always in the mood to do that. But I don't know. Who knows? Who knows where I will end up? Same with
Sure,
you.
sure, yeah.
We really never know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping to get back into doing sports marketing, but I don't know either. I just want to get to Vegas. That's my goal. Just get to Vegas.
You are back. You are coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so thank you, Angie, and thank you all for listening. All you that popped in, said what you had to say. Looked at you, I'm sure you heard some things that you liked and maybe you didn't. So let me know how you feel. And hopefully we'll do this again soon.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.